In a world
Shut the hell up.
where Carolina Panthers fans
Anthony from Charlotte, keep motherfucking pounding.
have an insatiable thirst
I need to see a lot more of that shit going forward.
for Panthers news and opinions.
All my C3 brethren from the C3 Legion.
Only one podcast roars ferociously.
The longest running Panthers podcast on the internet.
It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Oh, Greg, I owe y'all $100, man.
What's up, Panther fans? You're listening to the longest running Panthers podcast, the C3 Panthers Podcast. Tonight's show, Panthers' brutal beatdown in the Bayou has fans charged up as I spelled it right there. Oh, I spelled it like that in the title, too. Derrick Brown out for the season, guys. Carolina Panthers coming off a 47-10 loss on the road against the Saints, and they will be opening against the LA Chargers home opener, and the Chargers won their first game and ran all over the Raiders. A tenacious defense and a dominating running attack where over 130, like 136 yards in the second half almost. Threatens to run Carolina right out of the 2024 season. We had the post-game show, guys, just a couple of days ago. And the first call that declared season over came at 1:12. 1:12 into the 2024 season. We'll talk about Bryce Young's struggles in his sophomore season debut. People even calling for Bryce Young to be benched at this point. Andy Dalton got in there for one play. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about happy, smiley Dave Canales, who said, didn't think we'd have to fix so much. So much, but guess what? We're going to help fix things tonight. It's your Tuesday night therapy session. Smash the thumbs up button. Be a part of the C3 podcast by calling in at 252-228-5098. Subscribe, and don't forget, for a $1.99 a month, you can be a C3 super fan. Where's all right. That will help us continue to grow. Copays are accepted for the Carolina Panthers therapy couch over there, the C3 therapy couch. Cody Lack had to step away from the computer before his head exploded today, probably. So the three of us will be manning it tonight. The wheel man, CK, is the voice that makes him moist. You're my wheel man tonight.
Man, I am happy to be here. And we are all incredibly disappointed and incredibly frustrated by the team, by the division amongst fans. I want to say that, number one, this football team does not supersede my belief that we are all family, regardless of whether you're a C3 listener or a PNP listener or any other listener for that matter. We all love the Panthers. We all want the best for the Panthers. And it's important to me that you all know, no matter what your belief systems are, no matter how you look, no matter the things you say, you all are family. And to treat each other anything less than that is a travesty. And I'm really hoping that one game from a Carolina Panthers is not changing you as a human, you as a person, you as somebody who is willing to let something so trivial as a football game that you have no say in how it's going to impact your morals or your beliefs. I'm just stating, take a breath, take a moment. Do not let a football team ruin your mental health. It sucks and it's really unfortunate. But if you have that type of a mindset about this team, that your life is horrible or that things can't go right because of this team, it might be a good idea to take a step away for a little bit. Because right now, it makes way more sense for you to be able to be happy than it is for you to continue to live in a life of dismay and frustration. So all I'm stating, we want you to be here with C3, but please be respectful to each other. That does not mean That does not mean that I'm calling anybody out. I'm just stating, let's please stop with the name calling. Let's stop with the pointing fingers. Let's just try to move on and hope that things go in the right direction. Express your opinions, but do it respectively. And respecting each other's opinions. Please. That's all I'm asking.
Part of this is in reference to simply, I was at work all day. I had the busiest day, guys. Like, I didn't even sit down till 8:15 to even start putting together the broadcast and stuff like that all day long. And it turns out there was a dang Twitter or whatever today that consumed a lot of people's time and energy. Thankfully, I had a great day.
Of course you did.
Put this crap up, and I was like, I can't even look at this. I don't got time for it. I barely got time for this 47, this beatdown that the Carolina Panthers took. Oh, CK telling us to not let this team affect our mental health, and then doing a podcast where we follow this crap years. I don't know how we figure that one out. That is a paradoxical concept in its own.
Well, here's the thing: this is a therapy session. We've all agreed on that.
Yeah.
But my point being is, it shouldn't change who you are, whether the Panthers are a good team or a bad team. Mm-hmm. And what I say, and I've said this from the get-go, Greg will know I have defended Greg in the midst of when Bryce Young had a good year and everybody wanted to talk shit to Greg, right? Have some grace about this. Have some moments of listen, okay, everybody makes a mistake, right? Be able to enjoy the moments when they happen that are positive without this mindset that you had to be right. And Greg, that's not a fault on yours. This is everybody, because we saw what happened when Bryce had a good year last year, or a good game last year. Everybody came out of the woodwork to roast you, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, I'm just asking that everybody look at this from the perspective of, it's a game, and you legitimately have no say in what's going to happen on that field, what's going to happen to the players, to the coaches, to anything on the back end, right? You have nothing to do with that. This is purely a TV show, and it's okay to be invested in that TV show, but it is not okay to treat other people as less than human because you have a disagreement about what you see on the field. That's all I'm stating.
Speaking of what we saw on the field, Greg, the Carolina Panthers went on the road to the New Orleans Saints, lost 47-10. The Saints put up a total of 379 offensive yards against the Carolina Panthers, 199 passing yards, 180 rushing yards. They averaged 6.1 plays per play. They were 7 for 13 on third down, and with just 62 plays, 30, they dominated time of possession. They had 10 penalties still. 10 penalties for 95 yards. I guess that's the one thing. Carolina had less penalties for less yards. The Carolina Panthers, on the other hand, had a whopping total of 193 offensive yards, 135 in the air, only 58 on the ground. Not surprising when you're behind from the first drive, second of the game. It feels like Carolina, an embarrassing 1 for 10 on third down, 1 for 3 on fourth down.
Yeah.
Allowed 4 sacks. Punted the ball 5 times. Greg, the stat daddy, those aren't good stats.
No. One of the craziest stats is like where you're saying they had 10 scoring drives. They almost had as many scoring drives as we had completed passes in the game. Like it was bad.
Bryce Young finished 13 for 30, 161 yards, no touchdowns. Miles Sanders, the leading rusher, 5. Is that true? 5 rushes, 22 yards is the best running back, even though Chuba had 10 yards on 2 carries.
You've got to keep in mind, this game got out of hand very quickly.
Oh, right.
And because of that, this is by no means, by the way, this has no defense of Bryce Young and what he did on Sunday. But when you have that type of a immediate downfall, it is impossible for your offense to gain any steam because you become so one-dimensional. You can essentially, they're going to be passing the ball. They might occasionally run, but we couldn't even run when they didn't think we were running, And so when that happens, all they have to do is defend the pass. And when that's happening, you're able to get the pressure. They had, I think we had we had 4 sacks, 3 sacks from one guy in the secondary who was always coming off the blitz. And one of those was on Bryce. The other 2 were they did an incredible job of disguising his blitz. At least that's per Dave Canales and the film study he saw. And so when you have this one-dimensional offense, it becomes incredibly difficult to get any rhythm going whatsoever. And so the reason that this happened is in part because of Bryce. You know, he threw an interception on the first drive of the Panthers having the ball in offense. And when you don't have a defense that can stop an offense and you give the ball back to them 2 times within 3 drives because of Mingo's fumble, it's you're playing from behind and you are not going to have that end well, especially when you have Bryce Young, who's not Mahomes. Let's be real about it. He's not Mahomes. He's not going to be able to overcome a deficit like that. He's not Tom Brady. He's not going to be able to overcome that deficit. At least not at this point in his career.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So
that's if they call the Tom Brady special scoring on the last drive of the second quarter and then coming out, getting the ball in the third quarter and scoring right away. The Carolina special is 59-yard touchdown responded with an interception. And boy, I mean, it felt like, you know, that 59-yard touchdown felt like a dagger at the moment. Like, oh boy. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, the very next play, and then you're like, oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear God. The Carolina Panthers will be hosting the Chargers, who held the Las Vegas Raiders to 10 points. They scored 22. Here's the problem here. They kind of dominated that game, or at least the second half. Third quarter, they really dominated the fourth quarter. I think they had like 39 yards rushing in the first half. And then J.K. Dobbins finished with 10 carries, 135 yards, touchdown. They were good, right? They were good. Harbaugh, you know, that team, the Greg Roman offense is going to come in here and want to run the ball against Carolina. And they were able to put up 176 yards rushing and hold the Las Vegas Raiders to 71. This is going to be complicated, guys, as we, in just a moment, get to the point that I don't want to talk about, that Derrick Brown is out for the year. The most important cog in the defensive front that wasn't good against the run against the Saints. The most important player is now gone, so you're going to have to deal with J.K. Dobbins, the Jim Harbaugh, Greg Roman offense without your best defensive player. CK, before we get too deep into the show, Roaring Riot, you're heading to Charlotte to check out this Chargers game.
Yeah,
right?
So we're on Sunday. Obviously, you have the Chargers. It's the home game, home opener for the Panthers. After what we saw in week 1, it's incredibly understandable why you wouldn't be excited about this team. Here's the thing: we are still Panthers fans, and right now, going to the Panthers game is incredibly affordable. Ever since that loss, these prices have been dropping like crazy. So if you are a Panthers fan, I implore that you look into trying to go, provide some environment that is supposed to give the Panthers a home field advantage. If you in fact are able to do so, which again, you know, somebody saying $1 tickets, I'm seeing them as low as $17 on SeatGeek. So if you are someone who is interested in that, please do that. Now, if you are able to go, or even if you aren't able to go on Sunday, but you have nothing to do on Saturday and you are in Charlotte, the Roaring Riot has a kickoff fest, a jam, if you will. And then they're going to have a lot of people. Tony, are you able to pull that link up? It might be a little easier if you're able to. Yeah. You're going to have musical performances by Cody Cutright, Moon something. I can't remember. And you're going to have Jonathan Stewart there. You're going to have Captain Munderland there. Chuba Hubbard's going to be there. And it's a big deal. It's like going to be outside. If it's raining, I don't know how they're handling that. But, you know, if you guys are interested in doing that, hold off on purchasing tickets for the moment being. Because what I want you to do, and please, if you are somebody who is not going to be able to go, please do not put your name in the hat for this. We want to be able to give it to somebody who's actually going to enjoy it and be able to move or go to the actual event. But Josh Klein over at the Roaring Riot was gracious enough to offer 2 tickets to go to this kickoff jam at the Roaring Riot. It's going to be at Noda Brewing Company right beside the stadium, and it starts at 2. And so if anybody is interested in going, before you purchase tickets, please purchase tickets after if you're interested. But we have 2 tickets. And so we're going to do a giveaway, and we're going to have this run for probably until 10 o'clock tonight. And what I need everybody who's entering to stay till 10, because we'll do a drawing. But I want to be able to give everybody an opportunity. We'll continue to bring it up. Maybe if we can pin it in the chat, maybe that'll help. But what I need you to do to enter, I need you to do one thing. You need to do hashtag Roaring Riot. And we'll put that. I got it. It's all uppercase, Roaring Riot.
All uppercase?
Yeah, all uppercase. And so just put that in the chat. That'll enter you in for that giveaway. And then once we get to 10 o'clock tonight, we're going to go ahead and do that drawing. What we'll need from anybody who wins is we'll need your full name, your first and last name, and your email. You don't have to put that in the chat. If you'd like to go to Twitter, you can provide that to me there. Or if that's not an option, tell me alternatives in the chat that might be better, and see if we can find a way to connect so you're not putting your personal information out over the internet. So that being said, just if you guys want to start putting that in the chat, again, it's hashtag Roaring Riot.
2 tickets, $25 value each. So cool stuff. You can put this. Let me see. Okay, maybe one of the moderators can pin that tweet that I just used. Roaring Riot kickoff jam, kickoff party, Panther season with a full day of live music from bands like Moon Taxi, The Nude Party, Simplified, Cody Cutright. Get autographs from Jonathan Stewart, Mike Rucker, Chuba Hubbard, and others. Great food, exclusive Noda Brewing beers and Tito's cocktails, football fun zone, and much more. September 14th in Charlotte, 2020. Well, this year. All right. All right, let's jump into this, guys. That giveaway will be at 10 o'clock. All right. I don't even know. I didn't go back and watch the game. I'm not going to.
That's understandable. Why would that's what a masochist does?
Yeah, I kind of went on I had guys weekend away, sort of. On Saturday, I got to see my ECU team pull off their second win of the season. Wasn't pretty by any means at all points in the game, but had a lot of fun with my old homies, right? Pulled into town at 12:30 on Sunday and proceeded to not have a lot of fun watching the Carolina Panthers. And a lot of people commented to me about how too much not fun I had on that day as we did the post-game show. Some of my friends mentioned it to me. And then I was like, I woke up dragging ass on Monday. And the first text I get from somebody, Derrick Brown injured. I said, what? Huh? Derrick Brown reportedly injured his knee in the game. That news leaked as of yesterday. A meniscus sprain or tear. And then Derrick Brown was seeking a second opinion, but it looks like Derrick Brown will miss the 2024 season. Guys, with this news right here, is it premature for us to say after that game it's over this season? When I say over, what I mean is that winning cannot be the measuring post of keep going or not. Guys, How bad is this? Let's say this is how bad is this injury for the Carolina Panthers at this moment?
I think just based on what you were just saying, the fact that this is probably not going to be winning is not going to be on the table for the Panthers this year very often. I mean, we might win a couple games, but because anybody can squeak one out. But this is the best time to have him get injured to do this, because we're not going to be any kind of competitive or competing for the division title and trying to make the playoffs. Right. It's going to be more of a competition of how we can better the team for next year, either by improving the players that we've got, or a better draft position. But it's going to take more than one good draft pick to make this team better. So
We started CK, or we've been having a conversation for, I guess, the last month or so, where I've been asking, who's a player that you love on this team? And the only answer that anybody could continuously or all agree upon was Derrick Brown. Derrick Brown had a Pro Bowl level season last year.
He broke records for us, to be fair.
Yeah. And now he's missing from an offensive line, from a defensive front that struggled to do anything against the New Orleans Saints. How detrimental is this injury, CK?
Man, it's enough to make you pull your hair out if you have any left. It's not great.
CK used to have a full head of hair when he started coming on this podcast.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was full, but it was certainly on the. It was more than there is there now. To be fair, so man, it's tough because it felt like that was the centerpiece to this defense, and with him being out there,
it didn't feel like it. It was.
Yeah, with him being out there, we still did it as bad as we did. Now add in the fact that he's not going to be there. This maybe we find a scenario where this is actually, I know this sounds dumb, but maybe this causes some people to step up. And I tell you what, that Ashawn pickup it means a lot more than it did about a week and a half ago, having him sign as a free agent this offseason. So man, it's hard to get excited about this. As a Panthers fan, this is the tough part because the keep pounding mantra is almost synonymous with great defense and running the ball. And we just aren't that right now. And it's tough. But here's the thing. And I said this from day one. If I don't know how much of that blowout loss was us being that bad versus New Orleans being really good. And I think both are true. I think we're bad, but I also think we've underestimated what the Saints are going to be this year.
I agree with that. I think I know that is I wanted the Saints to be bad.
Yeah.
I wanted Alvin Kamara to be a thing of the past.
Yeah.
I wanted the idea that whatever car he is was going to stink.
Yeah.
I wanted to believe those things. Now, Derrick Carr. He's that type of player that he's going to have those games against teams like us. He's going to play really well. And there's going to be times where he's not great, but they still have good receivers. They've got a good defensive line. Their offensive line played well against us, and they got a superstar in Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
So they're not as bad of a team as I hoped or wanted them to be.
Sure.
Bryce Young did have a worse game than I ever could expect it have been, and he had a PFF grade of 32. Andy Dalton 53 with his one play. Jonathan Mingo somehow had a higher PFF score than Bryce Young.
Yeah,
and he stunk. The Carolina Panthers have moved on, though. We're not moved on. Have done some work. I don't even know where I pulled this from. They signed former Detroit Lions linebacker Charles Harris. I think he's like one of their former sack leaders in the season. The Carolina Panthers have signed an outside linebacker, I guess, to help maybe with some of this pass rush or to help anything. I don't even really know how to address this first game. I thought it was interesting. You guys get that for 1 second. You guys talk about whatever you want to talk about. I want to pull this clip from Dave Canales and play it real quick.
Well, I wanted to talk. We were talking about the Saints defense, and to be truly honest, the Saints defense didn't really play that well. If you look at both the turnovers, the guys were open. They were just overthrown balls. So it wasn't so much them being in great position and blanketing the receivers. It was just a bad throw by Bryce for both the interceptions.
No. So, but you're only focused on those two plays. You got to keep in mind they forced a fumble by Mingo. They did, even if you want to say they didn't, I can understand the position that you would have, but they did a pretty good job covering our wide receivers. down the line. They sacked Bryce 4 or 5 times, and some of those were just creative blitzes. Yeah. I think if you look at the, even if you wanted to do this just to give some credence to PFF, I bet you if you look at their numbers, I bet you they have really highly rated PFF numbers. I think their offense probably has really good ones too, because our defense couldn't stop them. But I do think that they played incredibly good complementary football. And basically what they did, and you got to keep in mind, both of those interceptions were Bryce Young on the run because pressure made its way to him from Icky's side. And so when you see that, they did a pretty good job. They forced that, even though Bryce is supposed to be really good at those throws on the run, being able to get the ball down the field, which we saw in preseason, because they forced him off this spot and to force that throw down the field in the middle of the Deontay Johnson one in the middle of coverage that was pretty good. There was a window there, but it wasn't like wide open. It forced him to throw that ball, and unfortunately, it was overthrown.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, they forced the fumble on Bryce too. That's a good point. So I guess they did. Yeah, I mean, maybe they did play better defense than I'm just thinking about, but
yeah,
I don't know. It was so embarrassing. It's one of these things that you feel like the season's over after the first quarter.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's kind of like I said, the beneficial thing of Johnson being, or not Johnson, the injury to our defensive lineman being out this year. Yeah, Derrick Brown, is that I
get injured next. He's not gonna get injured next year.
Yeah, he can't get more hurt now, and we're not. My Sundays are going to be a little more. Yeah, my Sundays are going to get a little easier to deal with because I'm fully not expecting a lot out of the team this year.
I think it's wild. This is to be one game into the season, and this is footage from Carolina Blitz here, just a short little clip. And this is Dave Canales. He was asked about the preseason stuff again.
What's the solution?
We're looking at all of it. So I think my responsibility as the head coach is to say, okay, let's look at all the processes. And we had a plan. We went into into training camp, into the preseason with a plan in mind. The ramp up as we got closer to the season, and felt good about the rep counts and all that. But I got to look at everything. To come out and in all phases have that much to fix. It starts with me. It starts with the process, and it starts with us combing through all of it to see there's nothing you can do about it now, about the past. But looking forward, as you circle back around, is there a way that we could have helped more? So,
what's your plan at defensive tackle?
All right, I just think to me that first, I don't expect him to say anything different than that.
Yeah, it's coach. I mean, he's going to be doing that, yeah, for sure.
But the idea that you're reevaluating your core processes from after week 1 to me is bananas. Is like, oh gosh, we really got to go back to the complete drawing board because this plan.
I'd like to know what the plan was.
Well, I think the plan was for to not suck that bad.
Yeah. Well, the plan is.
I think I would be like, I don't really think I don't know. Was that just like a training camp failure? Is it like he's talking about these processes? I don't know. Like he said, we got to see if we can do more to help them. Could you help these guys more right now? I mean, could you actually have done anything different that's going to make all of a sudden make your players better?
Yeah.
I know you want to get more out of them, but God, it just looks like, are we talent? The question is there enough talent on this team?
I mean, you got to keep the thing you've got to keep in mind. We are I think the second or third oldest team in the NFL. So you can't. These are all
we have money. We're old and we're bad.
Well, I mean, we're bad. But here's the thing: is so you can't say that these guys don't know how to play. They've been in the league long enough to where they're listen, they're players.
Yeah.
Now, whether they're good players, they're NFL players. No matter what, they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be getting blown out 47-10. It's just not. And there's no scenario that makes sense where that should be the outcome. And so, no, I don't think that it's a matter of talent. I think that there was, number one, it's my belief again, and I still maintain this. I think that they should have been playing in preseason because everything that Dave Canales is quoting as being the issue here are that they needed to work on communication. What was my reason for saying that we needed to be able to have their starters play in preseason? Do you guys remember? Anybody? Was
That
it?
was one of
Oh, did it have anything to do with communication?
Right.
It might have been number one reason. Okay, so that's the defense. Now you said Bryce Young is still getting to know his wide receivers. Well, guess what will help him get to know his wide receivers? Playing in real games, even if it is preseason, is playing in real games.
Mhm.
And so if we had played, here's the thing, is this game, if we lost this game, this was always going to be a lose situation for Dave Canales by approaching it the way that he did. I love Dave Canales and his personality. I know many of people, you do not like him. I think that he's the type of personality that you need for a team that's actually struggling right now. Because I tell you what, these teams don't need somebody who's going to sit there and basically dog wash them, right? It's just not going to that's not. You need a guy who's going to be able to pick these guys out of the mud, and they're going to want to come and play when they're down 47-10. And it might be tough, but they want to do that. And so here's my thing: is I think that the biggest blunder is they should have let these starters play in preseason, because if they still sucked at week 1, then we know there's a problem schematically. And to be honest with you, there's you can no longer could put the excuse on Bryce Young. And right now you still have that little glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, this was because he only got one drive in preseason. But I mean, again, that's a fleeting thought with the way that performance happened last week.
Mm-hmm.
I just grabbed a screenshot of this screen right here. Oh, see this. Just took a picture. I'm gonna maybe I can do this each week, and we could do like a speed up thing to see how old he looks at the end of the season.
Like what happened with Reich, just in a matter of 10 games. The dude just like
is he gonna go from like an underwear model to an insurance salesman to I don't know, by week 17, will he look like Frank Reich at this point?
All answers point to yes on that front.
I think the problem, I don't even. All right, actually, I'll say this is there is a potential that the beatdown, there's just the wheels came off,
right,
and there was no writing it in that game. Period. So it doesn't, maybe the idea of saying the season is completely over in the first 12 minutes of 2024 is a little too exaggerative, but I don't know if it actually is. I'm trying to say that. Somebody said this. It was a great comment. I wanted to see it in the chat, and it was about, somebody said, one of the players said, we got to look in the mirror and figure out who we are in week 1. Panthers are cooked, right? It's like, so it's just like week 1, guys. And week 1 leads to this conversation right here. Oh, well, let me see where I put it. Here we go. I have an old slide in here. This is the headline on theathletic.com. New season, uglier result. Bryce Young. That's the headline. New season, uglier result. Bryce Young struggles, and Panthers offer little hope in week 1. Person with The Athletic, go subscribe to them and help continue to, I guess, keep Panther content in existence through these struggles. He wrote, coming off the last year's NFL worst 2-15 finish, it was the kind of opener where dreams go to die. The 37 go ahead, CK.
I was going to say, I mean, to that point, this was his worst performance of his career to date, by the way. I mean, you can point to the pick sixes that he threw against Indianapolis Colts,
right?
And say maybe that is, but this is, if you statistically speaking, right there, it just shows that this is probably his worst game, and so here's my thing is I just feel like he's defeated. There's something about his, because here's the thing, and Greg, your thought is it's preseason, right? But even in training camp, he wasn't overthrowing guys. He has the accuracy, but when the pressure's on, he's just not getting the ball where it needs to be right now. Mm-hmm. And so that's the thing that's so irritating to me is I see him in practice, again, slower situation. These guys he's not having to worry about getting hit. All of that stuff goes into mental. he was hitting all of his wide receivers. Like, he was as accurate as I probably would expect anybody to be when I was there watching him. And then you see this and you're just like, this is completely different than what he's shown when there's no pressure. So clearly pressure is the issue for him. And so that's the concern I have, is he's not stepping up and able to overcome the adversity that he's created in his own mind. Even, by the way, Icky struggled this week, by the way. He struggled. But everybody else was very solid. We cannot blame the O-line. We can't. Like, that is the case. We cannot put that.
You had the two new free agents score really high.
Played very well.
PFF.
Austin Corbett played really well at center.
And he'll get better, hopefully, as he continues to get more football shape, as well as more familiar with the. So I guess there is some optimism there. Person continued to write that the 37-point deficit was the fourth worst in Panthers history, while the Saints, who aren't exactly Super Bowl contenders, racked up their highest ever Week 1 point total. This is, let me see who wrote. Bryce Young said this. Of course, you want to come out and start on a high note. It happened today, and that's it. It happened today, and that's tough. You're going to wear that today. You're going to learn from it. And we turn the film on tomorrow, and that doesn't define us. Obviously, a long year, but we've got to turn the page. It's a tough league. I don't know if I know. It's hard to tell if I believe. I don't think Bryce is mentally defeated yet, but there have been a lot of questions on Sports Talk Radio in Charlotte about, is he broken at this point?
Right.
There have, he's coming up fist bumping kind of people and smiling after that interception, and nobody was giving him a high five or doing it. It felt like that for a moment. Now, I'm sure his teammates support him plenty. So, we're just using like a one visual where the camera panned away. My friend later on, he told me, he said, well, if you weren't blocked by Derek Anderson, Tony, you could ask him about was Bryce Young laughing, because Derek Anderson has that famous moment where they caught him laughing as they were getting curb stomped by a team on the sideline. He goes, "You think this is funny? You think it's funny? I was just laughing." So maybe Bryce Young wasn't laughing at that point. Guys, don't forget this Saturday in Charlotte, September 14th, Run Riot Kickoff Jam 2024. Bands from Moon Taxi, The Nude Party, Simplified, Cody Cutright, more, with autograph sessions with Jonathan Stewart, Mike Rucker, Chuba Hubbard, and others.
By the way, we have no entries yet. So, like,
nobody
right now,
put hashtag Roaring Riot.
Hashtag Roaring Riot.
All you gotta do is type it in the chat.
Yeah, hashtag Roaring Riot. Again, please, if you're not interested in going or you're not able to, please do not put it in there, because obviously we're going to pick you, and then, we're going to have to figure out if you're interested or not. But yeah, so again, for anybody who's just joining, we have a few people. Please, whether you're on Twitter, you're on YouTube, it doesn't matter. As long as you are watching and you're putting in the chat, hashtag Roaring Riot. That's ROARINGRIOT. Okay, Roaring Riot. And as long as you put that in there, you'll enter in to get 2 free general admission tickets to go to this thing. I'll be there. I'll be actually flying my drone there, weather permitting. So if anybody is actually interested in doing that, all you have to do is comment the roaring, hashtag Roaring Riot. So that way you'll be automatically entered. And we'll do a drawing here in about 19 minutes. If nobody enters, obviously, I don't know what I'm going to do. But, we'll maybe just push it to Twitter and, have people.
Maybe we'll do it on the Friday free-for-all if nobody enters, and see if anybody.
Well, it's such a last minute. I'd have to be able to get the email to, basically I have to get the email to Josh Klein for him to get so I don't know. That might be cutting it a little close.
God bless anybody trying to get you guys interested in the Carolina Panthers at this moment. What I do want to do, guys, though, is get who we can involved in the show and get into the C3 or the cat calls. C3 cat calls, baby. The number's 252-228-5098. Let's take a few calls.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Cody, CK, the whole C3 crew, man. What's going on? This is your boy, CP, the Vintage Retro, man, North Carolina's Hope Dealer.
Hope Dealer, love to hear
What
it.
happened on Sunday, man, after the game with the Saints division rival down in New Orleans? It's hard to deal hope right now. It's hard to deal hope right now, fellas. I mean, from beginning to end, it was atrocious. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's just hard to process right now, man. It looks like Bryce, you know, I hate to bail on him so quick, man, but it looks like Bryce is a huge part of the problem. The defense couldn't stop anything, man. We got J.C. Horn getting burned, and then to add insult to injury, man, just seeing Derrick Brown might be out for the rest of the season with an injury. You know, it's just tough, man. And so, man, I need you guys, man, to deal some hope for us all, man, because, you know, I appreciate the podcast. I just, you know, it's just rough right now. And I don't know which way to go, man. It's, you know, Canales is new and Morgan is new and everything, man. Cody, CK, the crew, man. Just, you know, just trying to keep my head up right now. It don't get no easier. So, hey, we got to keep pounding some kind of way, man. Keep pounding. Let's go.
Thank you for the call, man. Great call. They need hope dealt from us. All right. Well, how about this? I'll approach this in a strange manner. The hope dealing in a strange manner, because I saw C3 Anthony in the comments bring this up. I saw this on Greg sent me this. Analyst urges drastic action if Carolina Panthers QB Young slumps continues. Some people are already calling for Bryce Young to be benched, going with Andy Dalton. And on top of that, Dave Canales said he was even trying to get Andy in for another drive, but he was hoping they would catch some momentum and some different things like this. I am with and C3 Anthony, Anthony from Charlotte. He put this comment up. He said, "Don't bench Bryce. If he's bad, let him be the reason we need to move in another direction." So really, you got a couple options right here, and that is, do you continue to trot Bryce back out there as he struggles? Do you bench him maybe even early in the season and give Andy Dalton the time to work, and then maybe Bryce can come in later? Maybe that could be an option, be an odd one. Maybe Bryce Young plays for a little while, struggles, and then he gets benched. To me, I'm with C3 Anthony here. I'm making Bryce Young go out there and play every game. If he is physically able and he is not injured, I want him to play, and I want him to play every damn snap. And if it gets worse and worse and worse, it gets worse and worse and worse. If it gets a little bit better, it gets a little bit better. But I don't want anything at the end of this season. Like, this is when we were talking about it earlier and saying, have we lost all hope in the 2024 season after the first 12 minutes of the season? The first 12 minutes. Not even game minutes. Actual minutes. 1:12 p.m. this past Sunday. To me, the benchmark of any success is just continuing to learning about Bryce. This is a learn about Bryce season. So that's my hope to you is don't bench Bryce. Don't even think about it. Canales and him work all season long. If they stink and they stink and they stink and they stink and we go 0-17, well, guess what? We'll be able with comfort move on.
Yeah.
Sadly, it would be like a very sad moments if you had to part ways with a
moment of like a somber moment if that happens.
Right. Well, I think the worst case scenario is that, say we have Bryce in for like the first 8 or 9 weeks and we're 0-9 and he just hasn't been doing anything, and then all of a sudden they decide they want to put Dalton in, and then we win like 2 or 3 games and take us out of that spot, that top spot. That's gonna be the worst case scenario.
The good news with that is if we are in we're not going with a quarterback in the draft, by the way. There's just no scenario where we're going quarterback in this draft. And the reason I say that, even if we're top 10, they're not
number 1 overall pick.
No, you are not going with the quarterback.
Why?
Because you're trading back. There is nobody in this quarterback class worthy of the number. You're not going to pass on a generational talent at another position of need to draft a quarterback that would probably go in the top 20, outside of the top 20. It's just not going to.
So what do you do
gonna,
then?
We're back in the conversation of Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett, right? So that's you're not doing that. Now there's scenarios where it makes sense where maybe you go the route of trading back, which in my opinion makes more sense than drafting a quarterback. So let's say you trade back. Sure, go after a quarterback at that point in time, get some assets, start building off the future. The thing, no matter what we do, it is going to be a quarterback competition next year. Bryce is going to get another shot.
When you go get like a guy like Goff, baby, like the Lions did.
Right. So, it's not going to be a scenario where it's handed to Bryce. I think that they will give him an honest quarterback competition if he continues down the trajectory that he's on now. But Bryce is going to be a Carolina Panther next year. Now, a lot of people, you're not going to be happy with that, but it is in fact what's going to happen.
Wow, Malik Willis was only 2 years with his team. Not first.
Well, he also wasn't a first overall pick.
I also just want to put this: it's week one. Week one. Now, I'm not shaming anybody because I just think it's crazy that we even just had those words coming out of our mouth. Draft next year, Bryce Young, and it's week one.
Yeah.
Week one. 252-228-5098. Next call.
Hey, C3 is AU Link. I haven't been able to watch much of your guys' live, but I have been watching it and listening to the podcast while I'm at work and traveling. So, my parents have NFL Sunday tickets. I watched it, and I wish I hadn't. And I'm pretty sure Cody's going to be talking about this in the post game. I'm not sure. I'm just about to listen to it during my run. Hopefully it's a good run therapy session for me. But I'm from the state of Alabama. I'm an Auburn grad, so I'm a link. But I've seen Bryce Young in person. And I'm 5'8", 190, a little round right now. And I could probably throw him over with one arm. He doesn't have the mass in the right places to be an NFL player. Maybe a kicker, but he has more of a soccer player's physique, not a football player. And it's very apparent that he should have gone soccer or baseball instead of football. He's not big enough. He's not smart enough. And Dave Canales even admitted that he has to be creative to give him running lanes. Give him throwing lanes. Because he's too short to throw like any other quarterback. You need to be about 6'2" to see over your lineman when they're hunched over, battling out. He's 5'9" and change. People say, "Oh, he's 5'10". Brother, I've seen him in person. I haven't been up close and personal with him because he's an Alabama guy. I'm an Auburn guy. But I've seen him. He's not much bigger than me, and I'm 5'8". So no. We are in the quarterback market unless he does a 180 turn. I don't blame this on Dave Canales. I blame this on Dan Morgan a little bit because we got our defense to create an offense. Well, our offense is horrible, and our defense is so gutted of talent that we couldn't do anything. And now Derrick Brown is having season-ending surgery. So we literally have J.C. Horn, who didn't look great, but wasn't terrible. Who looked like he needed safety help in that play where that touchdown happened. And Cody got a sack. Yay. So literally, we're being held with Band-Aids and duct tape that comes with this offensive defense because our people we invested in couldn't do anything. We could have the best receiving core in the NFL, but if our quarterback can't hit the broad out of a barn, it won't matter. That's all I got to say, guys. Keep pounding. Here comes the misery.
Yeah, tough game to watch. We'll continue. Look, is Bryce Young's body mass is not going to change anytime soon or ever. I don't know. I'm not going to get and here's a little hope. They asked for the hope deal. Is that hopefully that's going to be the worst you're going to see when it comes to the offense that game. It's really going to be difficult to not be any better than that. I mean, if you can continue to protect a little bit, you don't give up a big giant play on the first one, and you can run and grind a little, put Bryce in, and get a little confident. So Bryce's season's not over.
Sure.
The Carolina Panthers season isn't over. The problem is that, or at least it feels like, is that where you were hoping to see some promise of just progress on the offensive side, you just didn't see any unless you could focus on some of those wins of the offensive line. And then the defense is just getting torched. So it's like, oh God, this is going to be a long season right away. So we're not ready to write anybody off yet. In fact, this could be a great storyline of how Bryce Young salvages the 2024 season after a tough start, game one, how Dave Canales was able to keep these guys going together. It just really feels like with the Derrick Brown injury that this defense could just get blown out a lot.
Yes and no. I mean, he was the best player on our defense, but I don't think that losing the one player is going to make us significantly worse than we already are.
But we didn't have a pass rush. The theory was is that there wasn't a talented group at pass rushers as it is, and you're taking away the most talented guy on the front, which is going to make it more difficult on the other dudes. So it might not, like the one player, it's always the next man up. But this is the one player that, you kind of just don't want the two players on defense I think you really needed to have this season, or maybe three, were Clowney, Derrick Brown, and J.C. Horn. I think those are kind of the guys that you really needed to play a full season, or at least that's how I felt. We'll be here, though. We'll be here through all of it, see how these guys can recover against a LA Chargers team that was able to run the ball at will against the Raiders in the second half last week. The number's 252-228-5098. Let's go to another call.
What's up, guys? This is KG from Jacksonville. This is like my second ever call. I called for the first time on Sunday after that game. And that game, man, I'm still thinking about it today. And I was working today. I'm out here cutting grass, and I was thinking about y'all's Tuesday show, which I usually listen to when I'm working. But, of course, it's Monday, so I didn't have it. And it wanted me to tell y'all a story. Last night after that game, man, I was down in the dumps pretty bad. And I'm sitting there scrolling through TikTok, and this TikTok pops up, and it's Cam Newton in a sit-down interview. And I can't remember what the lady's name was, but one of the questions she asked him, she was like, "Is it over?" And he looks at her, and he sits there, and he ponders, and he's like, "I think it is." And then she goes, "In your head, in your heart." And he's like, "In my head, I think it is." And then she's like, "What does your heart say?" And he's like, "It'll never be over." Then it cuts to a montage of some of his highlights, and it has a song playing over it. And man, it got me in my feels. I was about to cry. And honestly, it just got me thinking, like, those are the best times ever as a Panther fan.
Yes.
And maybe those times only come once in a lifetime, but like that's what made me a Panther fan was Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Having a player like that, a generational talent, made me a Panther fan. Like, for people who are growing up now as Panther fans, I don't know what other than living in North or South Carolina, what would make you a Panther fan? Like, we don't have any generational players. And another thing that made me think about that is Derrick Brown. He might be out for the season. But honestly, is that going to change anything about the outcome of this season? Him playing or not? I don't know. And that's a terrible feeling. And he's one of our best players. And it's like, does it even matter that he plays or not? Like, it's not like, I don't even know. I just thought I'd call in and share that. It just sucks, man, that I'm grateful that I got to experience Cam Newton in the prime Carolina Panthers. But it also just sucks for people growing up now. Like, they have nothing to cheer for, basically. And that's a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
Maybe a little dramatic. We're one game into this season, but it just sucks that we don't have a guy. It's a terrible feeling. All right. Sorry for a sour note, but
yeah, way to make it sad. Way to make us all cry.
I'll tune into the show.
Way to make us all cry, buddy. No, my friend saw my friend out. I have it in my text messages, that same TikTok video he showed me, and he said, when I saw this, I had tears in my eyes. I was like, oh God, I don't want to watch it. I'll cry right here in front of everybody. Let's go to Scott from Winston-Salem.
Hey guys, it's Scott from Winston-Salem. Thought I should call in. Man, that guy that was down in the corner of the end zone throwing those T-shirts, dude, those are strikes. He hit everybody he needed to hit in the stands. My God. What was it, like 20 seconds into the game? I turned the TV off, bro, after that pick. I went outside, hung canopy lights, argued with my wife, and had a better time than watching the football game. Ridiculous. Another thing, why don't we go ahead and mark like 4 games off next year as losses and start us at like -5? So we got to overcome 5 more games just to get to 0. I mean, God almighty. Jesus.
I'm going to do that mentally, so I just pick the right number.
I mean, this guy, Bryce Young, dude, I wanted to succeed. I do. But it is so hard. And you can't blame it all on him. Yes, Jonathan Mingo, he dropped some passes. Yes, he did. Our running game looked okay, but then we go away from the running game. And then we went back to the running game. And it was talked about all year. We are going to run the ball all preseason. We're going to run, man. We're going to establish a run. What do? The first pass of the game, my God, an interception. And then he didn't even look upset about it when he threw it. He was on the sideline smiling when they showed the close-up, saying it's my fault. Yeah, bro, definitely your fault. Who else's fault is it? And what kind of stupid crossing route was that where both players are going to be crossing at the – I think they were scared of hitting each other. And the defenders are like, I'm just going to wait on it because he's going to throw it right to me, and sure to God he did. I swear, dude. But Greg, hey, man, your beard looks good, dude. I like that blocked-off look.
Appreciate it.
An excellent dialogue from you guys as always. I agree with Cody. Everything you said at the very beginning, I mean, I had to cut it off a little bit because my kids was in the room. But, hey, man, that's the way it is. Hopefully we can get some wins this year. And I'm not going to talk about draft picks for next year because that's probably not fair to do. I mean, it's the first game. But hopefully we can rebound and have some good play. And the Jets talking about how they're going to the Super Bowl, I don't think so, bro. I'm watching that game right now, and they're down. It's 23-7. So good luck with that. Anyway, Scott from Winston-Salem. Have a good night, guys, and listen to the show on Tuesday. Goodbye.
Thanks a lot for the call, man. It's crazy when arguing with your wife is better than watching a football game.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you got the choice between this beer right here and this football game with wings or an argument in your wife, and you're like, I'll take the argument. Jeez. That means that football game stinks.
Yep.
That game stinks. He mentioned Aaron Rodgers. Well, he mentioned the Jets. I kind of had the Jets I wanted them to. I was hoping they'd catch the 49ers sleeping. Christian McCaffrey was out, screwed up a lot of things for me in life as I didn't check it anyway.
And then they just still proceed to put an undrafted free agent out there who's destroying the defense of the Jets.
And then Brock Purdy was pretty damn impressive. I think Rodgers and maybe if we made a parallel to the game, to our game, is he hit Lazard on a 3rd down completion in that first drive or something that Lazard slipped out of his break and then dropped right out the gate, and it just felt like momentum change. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Aaron Rodgers like, it was just like all of a sudden it felt like they could have caught him sleeping, and then that one play it really
just changed it.
Yeah, I thought anyway. Let's go. The number is 252-228-5098. We'll take another call. I don't even know if anybody entered the Roaring Riot thing.
I haven't seen one.
We have one entry.
All right. We about to win this sucker.
Pretty good odds of winning. Yeah.
Unless it's one of you guys who just were trying to tell people how to put it in.
Oh, I know, right? No. All right, let's go to the next call.
Good morning, guys. This is 6:25 in the morning. How are you doing this beautiful morning? Probably still asleep. Well, I don't know, Sonny. Anyway, so I just wanted to call. I rewatched the game. God, what a horrible decision. I'm going to be nauseated the rest of the day watching that this morning. Because I've been up since 4. I wanted to get up early and watch the 22. Anyway, to be honest, Bryce sucked. But it wasn't all on Bryce, but most of it was. But the defense, I want to talk about the defense. The defense, I think we as fans and overlooked the reality. The gentleman that we called Evero guys. We thought they would come in and play great under Evero's system. Reality, they were free agents for a reason. That just was. Josie Jules was a free agent for a reason. And he looked awful. Ashawn Robinson looked as awful. Jordan, the safety, looked really bad. I think that's the name. Anyway, they just did. Okay. And my first initial thought that crossed my head watching this was Evero is purposely screwing this up so he gets fired and goes because he didn't want to be here anyway. Well, that was a kind of dumb thought, so I skipped that part. So reality is we hyped them too much up to do that. They're just not that talented. I did notice that Ike Ilode started the game. Johnson didn't get that many snaps. But the problem was the defensive line just didn't. The defensive line got pushed into the linebackers roughly all day, and Ty Tuttle was a mistake signing, but the team is stuck with him cap-wise, so there's not really a way out till the end of this, till next year. You're still going to take dead cap, but you can have some benefits if you release him at the end of the year.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of players like that. But you're again, me and Dees talked about in Spaces yesterday.
I guess his timing ran out. You there?
Yeah, that might be.
Okay.
It might be what it. Yeah, I was just seeing if it was going to finish up. Man, again, yeah. There's so many layers to this whole thing. Was there any more to Pickles? Because he got cut off.
Got just a little bit more.
Yeah, let's let him.
Sorry, guys, I'm taking too long doing this. Nonetheless, we're going to have a bunch of roster changeovers. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the defense doesn't turn it around. We make a defensive coordinator change next year because Evero has 1 year left on his deal. After this season, he has 1 year left on his contract, and then he goes to basically unrestricted free agency. And he got a bunch of job offers last year. I don't think that's going to change next year. So I don't think they really can't trade him. I don't think unless he turns everything around, he's going to be a head coach. So, it may be time to move on from Evero after the end of this year. In the roster, if you want to have a big enough changeover on the defensive side of the roster, that if you desire to switch defenses to a 4-3 under a different coordinator, it's possible. Nonetheless, I'm really done going to revisionist history on the draft. I'm kind of over that because I could go back 30 years revisionist history on the draft, and we don't need that. So life goes on. I'm going to do a video here pretty soon about the contract issues with Bryce. Pay attention to that. Y'all connect with us on C3 Legion Spaces. We there.
All right, man. Thank you, Pickle. You guys got any comments to his call? Or just misery?
I mean, it's not I've voiced my concerns over Evero since last year when people were trying to put him in the head coaching category of somebody who's going to be, sought after by other teams. I think that it was easy to cover up things that were maybe blemishes in his system last year because they didn't have to throw against his defense. And so it made it feel like maybe there was, it was always easy to say, well, the offense isn't giving them any help and all that stuff. But I never saw anything from this defense last year that screamed that this was the difference maker. This was who it is. This is like, this guy is giving us an edge over top of other teams. They would hold their own to a degree, but as of now, I mean, so far game one, if we're judging Bryce, and I wanted to throw that same judgment on Evero, I think that right now it looks as though he's not an asset. We'll see how the year goes.
A lot of players made mistakes in that game that, I'm saying, that were blown. So it doesn't even matter if you're coaching it right.
Right. But if there's a communication issue that is the underlying problem, it's still going back to, things that Greg and I have always kind of maintained. That's a coaching issue. If it's everybody on your team and they're all NFL players and their issue is communication, then it's not because one player isn't communicating correctly. It's that all of them are not communicating correctly. And that becomes an issue.
Regardless of any of that, if this season goes poorly and this defense plays poorly, you're really looking at a coach that's going to his second year that inherited Evero at a convenience. There's going to be, if this falls apart this season, if it's just a dismal season, you can't believe that there's got to be some sacrifice made to the Tepper, to the altar of Tepper, to show that you are trying to do something about it. So,
all right. So can we go ahead and do we had a few entries. And so if everybody has entered and that is actually interested in going, it's going to be, I'm literally going to press this button to draw the person. So you have 1 minute before I'm going to talk. After I get finished talking, to put in the hashtag Roaring Riot, like the real AP did, just a little bit up the chat here if you're on YouTube. It's again hashtag Roaring Riot, ROARING Riot, RIOT. And so once I'm done talking, I'm going to go ahead and hit the button to draw. So if you're in Charlotte on Saturday and you're looking for something to do, have fun with some Panthers fans, and not have to, watch the game, please go ahead and put that in there, and we'll find a way to make this work. Let me make sure that entry did work. So you're good with the lowercase, it looks like. So I think we got the final entry in now that I've been talking here for about a minute and a half. So we got Scott Thomas putting it in there. Okay, maybe I give it a second here just to make sure before.
All right, while we give it a second, let me do this. So shout out this is thank you for the C3 super chat. RC Graveyard for $5. He said, personally put all the fault on Tepper. Understand the change was necessary, but Rivera always had us in some form of fighting shape. Team has no fight. Also, shout out to Charlotte Sports One with 2 back-to-back C3 bombs right here. Charlotte Sports One, $5 says, absolutely, Anthony Bryce. This is in reference to Anthony saying, look, we got to play him. Bryce, 17 games. Says, absolutely, Anthony Bryce has 17 weeks to show whether he's the guy or not. We need a top pick to trade back with. Keep pounding, everyone. And then Charlotte Sports One back at it with $2 says, poll, keep Evero year 3, past that or move on, Greg. Cool poll for that. That's a great idea. Look, we appreciate everybody being here for this, calling in, participating in these giveaways, and you can smash the thumbs up button to support us or support us monetarily like that. CK,
yes,
giveaways.
So let's make sure that I'm going to go ahead so that way nobody thinks that I am doing anything unfair. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. That is the giveaway screen. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. I've never even seen it, so I'm interested. What does our giveaway screen? I don't know how we did this.
Do you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you guys see, it says that we have 8 entries. Not ideal. We wanted to have a little more, but 2 of those entries are Carolina Cat Chronicles because we wanted to show you what it looks like. So if we draw our own name, we're obviously going to draw again. And if you're in chat and your name gets drawn, please, please, please comment. And then what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you, if you can, just let me know in the chat if you're able to. I'm going to have you message me on Twitter or /X or whatever you want to call it at Codizzle Allen, or you can message Tony as well, and we'll get your name and your email, and then we'll get that over to Josh Klein to have him email you the copy of those tickets. So let me go ahead and draw this. And
Tony.
Watch it be Tony. That would be hysterical.
This is such a cool. I like this.
Scott Thomas.
Winner! Oh, wow. We're doing this. We got to do some giveaways. This was neat.
Yeah. Cool. So, Scott Thomas, you have officially won the giveaway. Sorry, Justin. I know you had it there. Had the runaway victory. You did. It was almost there. Yours was the last name shown before Scott Thomas's was the last one on there.
Oh, man. So, that was pretty neat that it did that. Like, I liked how that looked, visual element there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So please, Scott, reach out if you can. I'm assuming you're on X, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. You can reach out to me or Tony. If it's easier, Tony obviously got the Cat Chronicles Twitter handle. So all we need is your name and your email, and we'll get that over to Josh Klein to get that over to you. So please let us know, and look forward to meeting you. Be sure to look for me Saturday, because I will be there. Look for my bald head. I'll be there with my wife, and I'll probably be flying a drone. So hopefully we avoid weather issues to make it not possible for me to fly the drone. We'll see. But look forward to meeting you, man.
All right. The number's 252-228-5098. Let's take another call.
Woo, Panther Nation, it's your boy Josh from Mass. What an ass whooping. Damn. I don't think anybody expected that week one, but damn. Oof. But hindsight, you look at it, really all that, I mean, that kind of ass whooping, no, not necessarily. I didn't really expect to win. I just wanted to see progress, but
right.
Look at the sum of the parts. You got a bunch of new players, mostly all new coaching staff. I think, honestly, I'm going to say the biggest disappointment for me was that defense. Because all offseason, it's all continuity, Evero, and I mean, they just gave it all up. I know we turned the ball over on offense, but they got 6 points off of that combined for those 2 times. 6 points, right? All their touchdowns came on their own. You know, they were kicked the ball or punted the ball on those drives. That's the defense letting them march. And then special teams, like, they're just letting them run the ball out to the, well past that 30-yard marker. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing there? Bryce didn't look sharp at all. I wish there was something nice to say about that, but, man, it looks like he just got unsettled from the very beginning, and that was it. I will say his footwork looked better. He was a little more planted. He had a wider base, but I don't know. From jump, everything else just was messy. So, I mean, it's a long season. It ain't over. We got time, and I mean, maybe by the time this episode's out, we'll know what's going on with Derrick Brown. But man, that's a huge loss. You can't speak to that. Just how big of a loss that's going to be. But meniscus is something that you can come back from kind of quick. I would know. My father doesn't have a meniscus in either knee. They're both shot. Being an appliance repairman will annihilate the body in some weird ways. But yeah, the defense just looked so out of sorts. Like, nobody knew what their assignment was. Nobody knew where they were supposed to be. Like, everybody go, JC got burned. No. There was supposed to be safety help over top. You go, if you're that good of a corner. No, people who were saying, if you're that good of a corner, you don't get burned like that. Y'all don't, Right. That ain't it, man. I'm out of time. It's Josh from Mass. We still pounding.
About that.
Here we come. Out.
We got the second best record in the league right now. So, I mean, we can at least say that. You know, the funny thing about that interception, that first one that JC Horn got burnt on, yeah, he was supposed to have help back there, but did it look like he just kind of gave up on it?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, so the way I look at it, and I'm, always one that's going to err on the side of I'm going to give the player the benefit of the doubt, especially when like JC Horn.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it seemed that was more of a, like he was already, there was not, even if he was running full speed, he wasn't stopping that dude getting into the end zone.
Yeah.
Like, so, and it wasn't until like the 10-yard line that he actually slowed up. But again, that's one of those things that you wonder if because that dude was falling, if he had fallen a yard shy, you might have been able to touch him down, but you had given up at the 10-yard line.
Right.
So I feel like that's one of those things that is it's going to build a narrative if that happens more and more from JC Horn. But that's something that we've never seen. We've never seen him just give up on a play. Right. He's always been somebody who's followed through. So one time doesn't make the man in my mind.
Great.
All right, let's take another call.
Hi, Zom, Gold Stars. Lend me your ear, you fucking guys. Whoever scripted that shit, fucking A, man. I know it's been a minute since I called, but fuck, bro. How the fuck do you just the first defensive fucking thing of the game, 50-something yard touchdown. All right, whatever. Maybe somebody slipped. I don't fucking know. Then the offense trots out on the field with all fucking happy feet there. They throws a fucking interception, first throw. Hey, Coach Chippy this, huh? I thought we were supposed to run the fucking ball. I thought we were supposed to pound the rock. Only thing getting pounded is your ass, little fucker. The fucking different shit. These fucking guys, I fucking swear, bro. And then fucking Bryce, you ever see the fucking cartoons? Right? You ever see the cartoons with the fucking legs? They're moving 1,000,000 miles an hour, but they're not going anywhere. That's him. Oh, there it is. Interception. Oh, overthrow. Oh, he hit bingo. He dropped it. Oh, what? Last year when we said, we convinced ourselves, it can't get worse. It's only up from here. Well, apparently there's a secret level of fucking hell, boys. And we found it. Holy shit. And I know everybody's in panic mode. Nobody wants to see this shit anymore, bro. I fucking swear. This team is like a toxic fucking girlfriend. Like, they never fucking listen to you. They're always disappointing you. And, you like to look at them sometimes. You can really look at them, and then you remember who had them before. You kind of get grossed out and it's fucking stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck. I don't know, man. I don't know how many Sundays I can take this fucking shit. All I wanted was a competent offense, and I expected losing. All right, I didn't expect to win that game. I didn't expect to get blown the fuck out like that. I just wanted something. The defense took a step back, and the offense still looks stagnant as all fuck. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. And, hey, maybe if it's in the fucking preseason, you would have had some fucking continuity, some timing down. Maybe, just maybe. Cody, don't fucking cut my head off with that one. But really, maybe it would have helped. Okay?
Hey,
right.
Paisan.
I gotta go.
Paisan Muscles Marinara said the Panther fans have found a new secret level to hell.
Because it couldn't get worse.
Let's see what we got. I think this might be Nick in Seattle.
Happy Tuesday, boys. It's Nick calling in from out in Seattle. And I was doing some thinking, and y'all let me know what you think about this, because am I just retarded, or does this make sense? We should be running a 4-3, not a 3-4. Now, Tony, I know you've spoken to this at length. I'm right up there with you. Our defense has never been built to run a 3-4. I don't know why David Tepper's dumbass keeps forcing us to do it, but our defense is not built that way. Our defensive line is tiny. Shy Tuttle is barely 300 pounds, and we got him at the nose guard. Our linebackers are always engaged with offensive linemen, which is why we're constantly getting bullied in the run game. It's because our entire front seven is dealing with motherfuckers trying to block. I think a 4-3 would make way more sense. Now, hear me out. This is what I think it would look like. On the defensive line, going weak side to strong, you got Clowney, because Clowney's always been a weak side edge rusher. Clowney, next to Derrick Brown. Ideally, this is with Derrick Brown, not her. Next to Ashawn Robinson. Next to either a combination of DJ Johnson, Leota, whoever they have on that other edge. Then moving back to the linebackers, you got Jewel on the weak side, Tevin Wallace in the middle, and Shaq on the strong side. That would allow our linebackers to be freed up to fly around sideline to sideline, making tackles, rather than always trying to get off of these 350-pound monster offensive linemen. Tony, some of you say they're too light in the pants to do that shit. So a 4-3, I think, would make a lot more sense. And I'm praying that once Evero is gone next year, because with the defense looking as bad they are now, he's not going to fucking be here. I hope we switch back to a 4-3 because we've never done well in the 3-4. Never. Going back to John Fox when he tried it, Ron when he tried it, and now here we are again. We're over a million in trying a 3-4. So I think a 4-3 would make much more sense. That would allow our linebackers to be freed up to fly sideline to sideline instead of watching these running backs. As soon as the running back gets to the, not even the second level, the 1.5 level, they're gone. Because then we're relying on corners and safeties to make all of our tackles. Boys, let me know what you think about this. With that 4-3 defense, would it look any better? Keep the spirits up. Love the podcast. Keep pounding, brothers.
Thank you so much for the call. ERH Dumex 4L in the chat says you need a good, true nose tackle for the 3-4. You remember, it's kind of like Groundhog's Day a little bit. You remember when we cut that guy last year at the beginning at training camp who was the big guy? I can't remember his name. He always looked sleepy and high at the podium, but he had a rookie season that was somewhat promising. He was like the only guy that was 330 pounds, and we cut him and then went light in the middle on that 3-4. You know, we're just here again on this. I think the 3-4 is like hard to find the players, the composition of players you need to do it. Those outside linebackers have to be defensive ends that can also play out in the field and coverage, and that's just hard to find. I mean, those are just unicorn type players where you get a Julius Peppers who can play in either situation. 3-4s, you know, the way you beat them is run the ball at them. I'm just, I mean, to go back to the call too, is not seeing the rookie Tevin Wallace out there, Tevin, whatever his name is, linebacker. You know, you want to see some action for these guys. You know, Ashawn Robinson wasn't great. No one was, you know, I mean, he might be, I mean, we've already mentioned it, is Evero. If the defense continues, I mean, he's going to be, whether or not you think he's good or whatever, you think he's one of the top coordinators in the league. Some people said it doesn't matter. He will be a sacrifice at the end of the season if his defense continues to play like that. And how many years does it take to get Evero, a competent group of guys to run his system? This is Evero's third season with the Panthers, right? Third.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't he come? He didn't come with Frank Reich. He was.
No, he did come. He came with Frank Reich.
Oh, okay. So this would be his second season. Okay. All right. Next call.
Yo. What's going on, C3? It's Anthony from Charlotte. Hope y'all boys are having a good Tuesday. Beautiful weather here in Charlotte today. It's about 2:12 p.m. Just wanted to call in and talk about some stuff. All right. Now, you know, first and foremost, you know, I was a big Bryce guy. You know, when we drafted him before the draft, I mean, maybe he could still be a good quarterback here. I just don't know if his future is still here. We'll see. And the roster's just not good. I'm already kind of looking into draft evaluations and that stuff just because last year we weren't able to do that. And, you know, this is my opinion. Whether or not, whatever happens with Bryce Young this year, I still think knowing this is what David Tepper is going to be thinking, but not necessarily what I think he should do. I think he's going to be thinking about a quarterback if Bryce Young doesn't succeed, but I think the best option low-key for this team, actually high-key, would be if we get the number 1 or 2 pick, you trade back, and you just get like those extra first-round picks, maybe even a player. Just do what like Seattle did with the Jamal Adams trade. Adams trade, or the Dolphins with Laramie Tunsil and Bradley Chubb and all that. That's how they were able to get Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill and all this. Or what the Texans did, with the Deshaun Watson. Like, there's many options, and the team needs ammunition to fill out the roster. Second thing I do want to say, though, is that if they do draft a quarterback, and still I don't know who the leader of this guy is. I kind of like I think all these guys could be solid. And granted, I don't really care how good of a prospect you are in college. I don't really think that matters anymore.
Right.
I think you're just looking for trades. If they do draft a quarterback, then you got to believe that the offensive line, and you got to hope they go after a real guy that can separate downfield. You got to hope the offensive line is good enough. And that wasn't the problem on Sunday. My take with Bryce Young is simply, I just think he's mentally scarred. I just think he looks lost out there. He's not believing in what he's seeing. And another thing is, too, I don't know if Canales is, and this is some fans that were mentioning this when they were watching film, I don't think Canales let Baker change the line of scrimmage last year, the play at the line of scrimmage last year either. Canales has got to be able to give Bryce like 3 to 5 play calls that you can change at the line of scrimmage. Because when you're getting an all-out cover zero look, you got to be able to change that. I'll be back for a quick part 2.
All right, here is Anthony and Charlotte with part 2.
Hey guys, so I got cut off here, but quickly. So yeah, he's got to be able to change the line of scrimmage looks. And I still don't like how Icky's on his own. I mean, I don't think he had a great game. I think all the other 4 of them are fine though. I just don't. Icky had some moments, but for the most part, the offensive line does look severely improved, which is crazy because it was awful last year. So at least that's improved. And we're just in this situation where there's a lot of apathy from this fan base. I see fans are potentially going to be wearing paper bags on their heads at the game. Good. Honestly, dude, whatever, piss Tepper off. Fuck that guy. Piss him off. I know we have had this conversation, and whatever people tell me about, we shouldn't be blaming the headman for all this, that's fine and dandy. That's your opinion. But for me personally, no. Because clearly, if Cody's theory is true about, David Tepper forced so-and-so to draft Bryce Young, then yeah, fuck David Tepper for that as well. So, he's not out of the woods with anything, in my opinion, okay? I know he's going to be the owner. I know he's not going anywhere. I know that's why fans don't blame him, and that's fine. That's the reality. Whatever, okay? Whatever. But we're in a situation where this team may be worse than last year. And, I haven't really talked about this much. I did in Spaces, but Canales seemed a little too, nice for my liking. I think Tepper didn't hire guys like Wilkes and Harbaugh because he would feel like he doesn't have power over them, like they're more powerful men. Which again, it's just whatever. I still think Canales can turn it around. It's 1 week. Listen, we're all overreacting. It was a horrible game. Horrible. And I think everyone on paper should know that the defense was bound to take a step back. That was just evident, right? The defense was bound to take a step back, and that was going to happen. So I wasn't surprised about that whatsoever. But what I am surprised about is just how flat the team came out, and
right.
That was crazy. So these are all just things to think about. I mean, it's only 1 week, but really there's just no faith in my fandom anymore, really. I really just don't know what to hang my hat on at this point. It's tough, man. This is now year 7 of this straight up bullshit we got ourselves into.
It's a long time.
And, we're not wishy-washy fans. We're just sick of this bullshit. Anthony from Charlotte, the tagline, keep motherfucking pounding, boys.
We're not wishy-washy fans, Is anybody who's calling in and chatting here has been here for a long time, man. They've been doing this, we're family. We've known each other through all of this it's just been a long, exhausting road. And we went into the season, CK, as I didn't set any expectations of success being. I just didn't want my Sundays to be miserable.
Right.
Like every Sunday, like I was like, oh, I can't wait to go to work tomorrow. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Because football is 6 days away. That's how it feels like on Monday for a while. It's just getting, it's just, it's hard. It's hard on us. It's crazy when you open the YouTube chat comments from after the game, the post game, and Lions fans are coming in there and going, keep your chin up.
I know.
It's not going to change until the ownership changes. Sorry. That's what it's just like, oh gosh. All right. You know what? I think it's time for somebody who always makes me happy in their own chaos form and fashion.
Hey, you know who the fuck it is. Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka! Y'all, I got a lot to fucking say, and I got a lot to get off my motherfucking chest. Y'all, C3 is motherfucking family to me. I cannot explain that and say that enough. Y'all motherfuckers are family to me, man. Like, D-Money, man. I know what the fuck you going through, nigga. Black men cry, nigga, and I'm here for you, G. I'm here for you, bruh. If you need anything, nigga, just hit me up, man. You got my number, G. I'm here for you, dog. I am here for you, G. This entire summer, Chad was here for me, bruh. Chad hit me up all the time, text, call, whatever it was. Chad hit me up. That's love, nigga. That's my dog, G. That's love, bruh. Straps randomly texted me back in June. Was like, hey, man, I don't know what the fuck you going through, bro, but I just want you to know I hope you're all right, man. I hope you're okay, sir. That's love, nigga. Straps called me just a few days ago at night. Straps called me, bruh, and we had a 30-minute conversation, bruh. And I didn't know Straps from a can of paint, bruh, but I do now. That's love, nigga. So what the fuck I see going on in the motherfucking community and how the motherfucking fan base is so goddamn divided over a fucking QB? What? Just because you didn't get the QB you wanted, so you're going to bitch, moan, and complain for 4 years until he's out of here? Are you kidding me, bruh? That's some fuck shit, bruh. I leave off social media and Twitter for fucking 3, 4, 5 months, bro, and I come and I see some fuck shit going on in C3, bruh. And that's bullshit, bruh. Motherfuckers tagging other motherfuckers in C3. Gregory, that's some fuck shit, bruh. I would stand for that shit, G. You supposed to be C3 and you over here fucking making other C3 members look bad, bro. Donkey of the day goes to you, motherfucker, because you made yourself look like a fucking jackass, bruh. C3's a fucking brand that's built off fucking love, unity, fucking dedication, motherfucker. And not only did you make C3 look like a bunch of fucking dumbasses, you made the owner, the creator, my white Italian brother look like a fucking jackass, bruh. I ain't fine with that shit, G. Now, I've been quiet for too fucking long, man. I got a lot to fucking say, G.
All right, he's got one more call, and then we'll figure out what this is all about.
Fucking G, man. Now, I don't know what the fuck is going on lately, but there's some fuck shit going around, and I can sniff it. I can smell it. I can smell the fuck shit in the air, man. Tagging other fucking C3 members, bro. You're a fucking C3 member. That's fucking fuck shit, bro. That's weirdo shit. Tagging CK, D Money, motherfucker. Oh, that's why I blocked your ass, bro. You wasn't tagging me, was you? You were not tagging me, brother.
Is he talking to me?
How dare you, bro?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't tag anybody on Twitter with anything. What is he talking about?
T3 is a fucking brand. And right now, we look like a bunch of motherfucking idiots. And no one's going to say it. I'm going to fucking say it. I'll speak the fuck up, bro. We look stupid, bruh, especially on social media, bruh. I'm over here on UNC 2020 show over here getting called out, being a C3 member and whatnot, this and this and that. What the fuck? C3 is a brand that was built off respect, unity, love, and dedication, bruh. A lot of motherfuckers put a lot of work into C3. They do the, you know how much work goes into what these Tuesday nights, these free for alls, these guys holding the motherfucking spaces consistently. Pickle, D Skills, D Money, all the motherfuckers. Do you know how consistent they are in that shit? This is professional.
I have no idea.
This is wild to me, bruh. This is asinine. The fan base is so divided. I'm fucking disgusted over a QB, bruh. This is wild, man. Motherfuckers on suicide watch because we lose one motherfucking game. Goddamn, bro, we got a rookie head coach, bruh. We knew what the fuck what it was going into this fucking season, bro. Give him some goddamn time. Let him build a fucking culture. Let him develop the whole fucking team. Man, you know who the fuck this is, man. And this is just the warm-up, bro. This is just the warm-up to the fucking warm-up, bro. I ain't even got my fucking calls in yet, but this will be fucking played. And all my calls will be played, my white Italian brother, but something must be said. And I guess I gotta fucking speak up and fucking say it, bro. Respect the fucking brand and shut the fuck up. It's C3. It's a professional fucking brand. And show fucking respect to other content creators as well, bruh. God damn, man. You know who this is, man. I'll be calling back, man. It's all love, my white Italian brother. I got you, G. A C3 for fucking life, dog. Fuck y'all talking about.
Well, I spoke too early when I said every time G-Baby calls, it makes me happy.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I didn't tag
Obviously,
anybody.
whatever the hell you guys were getting into with Monty today.
I mean, I had a conversation with Monty today, and yeah, Monty's insulted me online, so I'm gonna match his energy and throw him right back. But I didn't tag anybody in our conversation. Like I don't know what he's talking about. Like,
I didn't get any notifications other than what I saw from just flying around. But
I guess
I'll address this bullshit. I'll address all this bullshit. And I don't even know what's fully going on. I really don't. Because I'm not going to breathe life into things that aren't true. Like, just, you know what I'm saying? Breathing life into shit that just continues to run and bullshit.
All right.
So, I know this is that I've gotten on this fucking podcast for 11 years. I've interacted on Twitter with people for 11 years, over 11 years. And just go look at what I've said. It's all there. All the tape is here. And if you don't think there's anything but good intentions on my end as the creator of this podcast, then I don't know what to say about that. But I do know this, is that I'm not going to spend my day arguing over this bullshit with each other, like all this crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. So just like CK said earlier in the show, even to you, G baby, is like, let's be respectful. And yeah, C3, I guess, is a brand, and what that brand is a brand of fans. And that is this show and our Twitter communities and whatever organically has emerged on its own, which I still continue to put C3 in your damn username. I don't care. I love it. I love seeing that.
But
I really do.
To be fair, please, if you're going to rep C3, be respectful. You can voice your opinion, all of that. That's fine. But don't go to a level of just petty insults. Like, there's been a few people, I'm not going to name names, that have repped that, that username, and they go online and they say some really ignorant things, and that gets associated with C3. All it takes is one person to make it look like C3 is something that it's not. And there is something that I will say without question. Okay, here's the thing. I am fully aware that We are a panel of 4 white guys. I get that. But we have a community that is diverse from a lot of different regions across the country, across the world. We do not care who you are or what you believe. We love the Carolina Panthers, and this needs to be something that does need to chill out, like at all levels. And here's the thing: you don't like somebody, don't go on to again, Greg. No offense, I know that this was something that was started. That was you do But my point being is there are people that get involved and they say some real dumb stuff. And that falls back on C3. And now, as of now, exactly. As of now, like that's the belief system that people have about C3 is that we are a right wing podcast, that we believe we want Trump in office. We want all the, that's not the case. We don't care what your beliefs are. I welcome you. I know that if we sat down with any one of you people in the chat, anybody, we would be able to find common ground and have a good time. It does not matter what you believe.
Especially if you're a lady.
So please, for the love of all that is holy, I know social media is anonymous and it makes you feel brave and it makes you feel like, stop with this madness of constant vitriol. It's not healthy for you or for the people actually on the receiving end of that vitriol. Please.
I think it's just great. I've just gotten to the point where I'm not arguing with people, period. I'm getting divorced, guys. Look, put it out there. I'm tired of arguing. I'm tired of arguing in my house. I'm tired of arguing on the internet. I'm tired of all this, man. My butt was at work today and driving my kids around the planet. It was not exerting energy into beefing with people on Twitter. That's for sure. I don't know what's crazy. I just don't understand how personally is. I think that if you're not with the herd, like it's just like all of a sudden it's like your ideas don't fit in. So then you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. And I don't know, man. I don't even have. I said this. The only thing I got up there and I said this to Monty and to all y'all. Say this. I'm a Panther fan and the Panthers stink. What else is there to fucking talk about? What else is there really to talk about? The Panthers stink, and I like the Panthers. That's what this podcast is going to be until they don't stink. Other than that, I am planning on doing an entire episode where it's all Michael Jackson quotes, since we have Michael Jackson. So it doesn't matter if you're black or white.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, there you go. Fine.
I see what you did there.
see. Thank you.
No,
anytime Michael Jackson gets burned, we're gonna go hee hee. Anytime Michael Jackson gets a stop, we're gonna be Billie Jean, not my lover. Bryce Young, not my lover. We're doing a whole show in Michael Jackson quotes. That's gonna happen. That is gonna happen. Let's see. Let's go to D from Sanford.
Yo, my C3 family. D, Sanford, North Carolina. Shout out to the great Tony Dunn. Shout out to my homie, my brother, Cody Lack. Shout out to CK, Coach Dizzle, the king of Madden simulations. Shout out to Bad Daddy, the Legion, my brother from another mother, Diesel Skills, shut the hell up, Panther Pickle, and the whole family, the whole Legion. From the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just about over a week ago, my son attempted to kill himself, getting cut from his community college / junior college basketball team. And I kept it to myself, and I tried to be the same C3D money that y'all love to have. And it was hard on so many levels. And I remember last night I just couldn't keep it in. I was getting sensitive about different things, and I had to speak on it to the Legion, to the family, and the love and the prayers and the support that this family gave to me. I'll forever be in debt. I'll ride with y'all till the wheels fall off. I had 5 medical professionals, even one last night, tell me to prepare for the worst. Said I was about to lose my son, my firstborn. And today he woke up. Yeah, he's got a pretty decent road to being back right. But I thank God he's here. And I thank God for the C3 family. And family, I know we've had a rough week in these social medias, a rough day, and some people were challenged, and we had a rough game Sunday. C3, this family, man, that's what it's all about. And I'm always going to have a love and respect and admiration for you all. Tony Dunn, you're one of kind of like my inspirations of what I want to be when it comes into this podcasting world. Cody, I just admire your fight every day. Just a group, an immensely talented group of people and a community that shows love, man. If y'all ever need me for anything, I'm here for y'all. But just to venture to something, Panthers, just not to have it all on me. This week is a new week. We can start to fight back from what we didn't do.
Oh, he got he got to get his key pounded in.
I don't know where the message got cut off, but my son's going to be all right. C3 is going to be all right. The Panthers are going to be all right. Tony, I know you're going through some deep things, my brother, but you're going to be all right. Strong will survive, and the good will endure. And you are both, my friend. C3, we shall get through all adversity with our football team, with our platform, with everything we face. Because we got each other. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Prayers, what I will definitely do is convey this information to my mother, who is a professional prayer warrior. Like a real prayer warrior. Like this woman will get the nuns involved up in this joint, convents. So D, glad to hear your son is better today than he was yesterday. I think this is like, here, can we just focus this for one hair on how unimportant the shit we argue about in football truly is.
Mm-hmm.
And how real the world is at times for a lot of people that are listening, that are talking, that are doing all this. So don't sweat the small stuff, because when the big stuff comes around, you're going to want that emotional cachet of energy to handle it. And oddly, I started this podcast because I was tired of arguing politics. So for all the people who anybody thinks that there is a political bend to this podcast, the political bend was to be apolitical.
Yeah.
Apolitical. I've been walking through my life lately with less news. Like I'm just going to start. I mean, I've been working. Look, I mean, we're all going to have, I'm not celebrating myself here, but I'm not even doing a good job of working on myself. But what the hell am I going to control about half of this crap? Yeah. Right. So trying to eat better, trying to work out more, trying to spend more time with my family, things like that. And I will watch these damn Panther games. It's like the only bad thing I'm going to choose to do on purpose. Let's see what we got next.
What's good, C3? Max Hillman calling from New York. Terrible game on Sunday. Ruined my entire day. Ruining my entire week so far, especially now that Derrick Brown got hurt.
Yeah.
So I really think, just listened to post game a little late, but Cody, I agree with you, bro. We got to do something about this Bryce Young boy. I will say, though, one improvement was our offensive line did a pretty good job it was only when Bryce Young didn't know how to read a NFL defense, which is similar to what Nick Saban said against Auburn when he was there. I think we need to go back to that ground and pound we did with Sam Darnold, Devontae Freeman, and Chuba. Go back to that day when who is the coach? Oh, Steve Wilkes, fucking legend, should be our head coach right now, but David Tepper fucking sucks. But yeah, looking forward to winning next week. We'll see. Thanks, guys, for everything you do. Appreciate it.
CK, I think your camera died.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to figure it out. What's going on here?
Let's go to another call. Appreciate that. Actually, the only thing I could ever think about now with Bryce Young is when we think about his size or anything like that, or remember when he looked like he was like going to middle school when he went to training camp with that book bag on or whatever. There's an old guy there's a great YouTuber, and he used to dress up as Ray Lewis and then do these videos like about other people. And he did one about how they needed to stop Steph Curry. And like, you can't let this child out there be destroying men like Steph Curry was. You got to buckle down. You got to strap up your chin strap and get low in the base and put your, and he always said this stuff. He said one time, he said about Steph Curry, he said, "You're in the locker room popping aspirin and ibuprofen, taking ice baths, trying to recover. And this little guy's sitting crisscross applesauce, eating chicken nuggets on the floor of the locker room with his Dora Explorer lunchbox singing, 'Do you want to make a rainbow?' Or something, or no, it's Olaf. And I always think about Bryce Young in the locker room now, eating chicken nuggets, sitting crisscross applesauce with his Olaf lunchbox. 'Do you want to make a rainbow?' That was a legendary video, man. It was so funny.
Hey, boys. Hope everybody's having a great night tonight. Greetings from beautiful Idaho. Hey, I won't be able to join. I'll listen to you guys tomorrow night. But I did want to chime in. I kind of got drowned out and cut out. Technical difficulties. Probably better, cooler heads prevail after that shit show of a team we call the Carolina Pussycats. But hey, I know I bet everybody's gonna be having a debate about benching Bryce and starting Dalton, and that's fine. It gives us something to talk about after our therapy session Sunday. Thank you, boys. I'm just wondering, did Canales tip his hat as far as what he sees with Bryce? And hear me out here. Every great quarterback in the history of the NFL seems like they have that couple shitty games. And it doesn't matter if it's Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, even go back to Marino days. They all had that one shitty game. And you know what their coach did? They benched them in the fourth quarter. Just get them out of their head and sit down and watch the game. And we didn't bench Bryce. Is that Canales saying, feed Mr. Tepper? This guy is not a franchise quarterback. We're going to play him for the first 4 or 6 games. I'm going to drive the point down your fucking brass balls so you see that he's not the guy. And then we're going to start working with Plummer, and we're going to put in Dalton. And, I don't know. Tell me if I'm up in the night. Maybe I'm just a code reader and have broken Ted Lasso's mindset. Thanks for what you guys do. The only reason I'm a Panthers fan still after 30 years is finding you guys.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And yeah, Cody, we're going to turn this around. We're going to have a winning season one of these years when you're here. Take care, boys.
One day we will be on this podcast and the Panthers will have won one game, and then they will win another game, and then at the end of the season they will win more games than they had lost.
Huh. And then once we'll do that 2 years in a row.
Season in a row. Yes. Yeah. If we could live to see that, it's to me, I don't know where a lot of these conversations about Bryce Young being benched for the long term or anything are actually, I haven't seen any coverage nationally of the Panthers. I kind of just Googled some stuff around, but I mean, really, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna play this guy 17 games.
Mm-hmm.
And if you win one game, you win one game. Why would you even want to win 4 games with Andy Dalton if you couldn't win them with 4 games with Bryce? Because what is that going to do for you next year? You know, when you're trying to adjust, continue, and different things like this, you're going to have to play this hand. We got to play this hand.
You see what Scott said right
Scott
here?
says Bryce doesn't need to be benched. He needs a stool. He needs a step stool. He doesn't need a bench. His little feet will be swinging. All right, let's see. What we got next?
I don't even know if it's Showtime no more, but it's Lou from Fort Myers. And was I wrong to put in a call at 126?
No.
Fuck no. What, did I have little faith? Yes. Was that little faith justified? Yes, because we got blown out 40-10. Like, I didn't even have to watch the whole game to know what was going to happen, bruh. Like, is New Orleans good? Yes. Like, we're not going to sit there and lie. Because if they were a bad team, I don't think that would happen. But some people, I better not see here next year. Jonathan Mingo can have a 1,000-yard season, and I still want him gone. I don't care.
What are we going to make the Mingo
He had
bingo
DJ
card?
Moore.
Mingo
The way
fumble,
people
free
used to
square?
get on DJ Moore, where's the tape for Jonathan Mingo? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not too much to say, bro. Like, I say we trade Bryce to the Raiders. I'd be happy if we get a 5th round. He's garbage. We can get a 5th round, and then we'll have the 1st round for this year, and we can get, you know, Cam Ward or whatever. It's so bad that we're already talking about draft, and I ain't gonna talk about it no more. But like Dave Canales, bro, like I don't watch the interviews and the Bryce Young interview. We thought his media speech went better, but no, he done dropped 100 you-knows, and I'm sorry, Bryce Young, I don't know, and clearly you don't know because you out here throwing interceptions. You can't throw touchdowns. Just simple as this. You cannot throw. You are a mighty mini running back. You cannot throw. It's simple as that. Put in Andy Dalton. If y'all want to save Bryce Young's career, bench him. Bench him, and at least we can get some trade value, and then he'll pop out for one good year and this and that. Back to Greg's point, this is supposed to be the QB whisperer. Why is he still ass? Why did Bryce Young come back worse? Then he's like, hey, Bryce Young, we're going to be even worse this year, okay? Is that what he's whispering? What are we doing at practice? Derrick Brown's hurt, bruh. I can't handle it no more. I'm not watching the rest of the NFL. I only give a damn about my fantasy team, bro. That's it, bro. That's it, bro. Who throws the ball on the first play? What happened to asserting the run? That's like every head coach's first play is a freaking run. He's like, oh, yeah, bro, Bryce is going to show him that he's him. And he did. He showed him that he was him. Big fucking garbage. I'm sorry, y'all, bro. I'm just still hurt from that loss, bro.
All right, and he's got 14 more seconds.
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys are going to be
taking
it, become a free agent after the season. Because I think a lot of people need to declare the free agency and go somewhere else after this crap.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for those calls for so far tonight. Those were the cat calls tonight. You can call in after the game at 252-228-5098 for the post game this week as we host the Chargers. The Friday free-for-all. Cody will be back in full effect hosting the Friday free-for-all. We've also got to the Madden simulation coming out this week, plus more content coming your way. Let's move on a little bit and just talk Chargers briefly. I want to bring this up, actually. I was reading this as we were listening to the calls. Looked at the mailbag that Darren Gant asked the old guy, mailbag. And I like this story about here. I scrolled too far. As The question was this is, hey, Darren, this is from, by the way, this question is Chase in Greensboro, North Carolina. He writes into Panthers mailbag. He said, thanks for the awesome t-shirt. Blah, blah, blah. He said, losing Derrick Brown for the season is about as heartbreaking as a blow to this defense as it gets. I'm still hopeful about the new coaching staff, their long-term plan. You know the old adage, you learn more in a defeat than in your win. So I will continue to hold on to every ounce of hope that this coaching staff is building something special here again. After such a tough start to the season, is there anything positive you were able to take away from this game? Maybe Bryce Young finding the end zone as a runner for the first time in his career. That's all I could come up with. I actually would contend that a lot of the pieces on the offensive line could be the considered positive takeaway if there was anything good that you can find on this. Derek Gant writes this. I like this part. Is former general manager Marty Herney was a newspaper writer before he was a football executive, and once, when confronted with a confluence of terrible luck like this weekend's, it may have been when Steve Smith broke his ankle in week 1 of 2004 when they were trying to follow up a Super Bowl run. He shook his head and said that was a real grenade down the pants. He could paint a word picture, that one. And there were some guys you just can't replace. Basically, losing Derrick Brown is a real grenade down the pants. Hopefully the pin wasn't pulled and we can get it out of that pants leg fast enough to where this season wasn't completely or destroyed.
Right.
I thought this was also interesting. This was John from Matthews, North Carolina. He said, he wanted to know your take. He said, Canales noted that the locker room was somber following the game, as two pressers since the shellacking have taken on a noticeably quieter and less optimistic tone. Don't get me wrong. I know it's hard to be an optimist bully after losing 37-7 in your first game as a head coach, but it's been noted that they want dogs, or whatever you want to spell it, and dogs bark and get mad when backed in a corner. I feel a bit of a disconnect in the approach just based on what I'm seeing and hearing, and I fear that may leak into further weeks. He says it really is it really as low as it looks, or are guys mad and determined? And I like this response. He said, oh man, it's way too early for the Cam Newton sideline body language police to be saddling up and riding again. Somber is probably the appropriate immediate reaction to one like this. Some days you just have to eat it, move on. It doesn't taste good. But as the great Larry Merchant titled in his classic sports book, every day you take another bite. And I get it. People are upset. Gant writes, emotions have been invested in this team, and those are more valuable than money. So fans are hurt too. But throwing the furniture around to release anger of the moment doesn't really fix anything. It just gives you more to clean up. Obviously, the results matter most, but the approach by those in the locker room after that one seemed appropriate to me. There's no complacency in there. They'll wear aware. They are well aware. All right. Well, there. What they need to be aware of is this, that the Carolina Panthers are hosting the Los Angeles Chargers, coached by former Carolina Panther Jim Harbaugh, former Carolina Panther quarterback at one point. It will be at 1 p.m. kickoff. The Chargers are currently favored by 6.5, and the over-under is 39. Justin Herbert had an efficient game at 17 for 26 and 144 yards and touchdown. They were able to, Ladd McConkey, by the way, former Georgia running wide receiver, got his first touchdown, 5 catches, 39 yards. But J.K. Dobbins was the story in their rushing attack, 10 rushes, 135 yards, and a touchdown. And if you look at the Carolina Panthers team, we were not able to do any of those things against the Saints. There is one positive takeaway. The Carolina Panthers is 6-1 versus the Chargers, historically. So that's good news. That's good news.
Law of averages kind of says that we're due to lose the game to them then.
I would also say the law of what we saw last week would say that we were due to lose this game. Carolina, I don't think is going to be built to play from behind this year right now. No. I mean, they can be, but it's going to have to take some growth before that can happen. Like this, I don't think Bryce is broken. I think if there is somebody mentally that's going to be able to handle this, I think it's him. I don't think they've put him in such untenable situations that he's like irreparably damaged as a player. I think he just has to go out there and win.
It would help.
And he had a shitty game. He had a shitty game. But he's got 16 more to be less shitty. You know? I'm not sure I'm looking forward to playing this defense, though. And seeing if we can really get the things going against the team that's got Derwin James and Khalil Mack, who had a sack and 1.5 sacks last week. Khalil Mack still playing poses over there. They're trying to reassert themselves as a defense, and they made Gardner Minshew panic and look like the Minshew that people say he is, not the Minshew I know he is. Somebody better than that.
Yeah, dude threw the ball, accidentally threw the ball behind him, trying to pull the ball back into his and it did. Oh God, it looked bad there for a minute.
So we got another call that came in. Let's see what we got here.
C3 family, you know I owe you better than that. It'd be such a disservice after what y'all been for me, not to get that energy that we also need. All right, let's stop acting like the Chargers just did something incredible and impeccable. The Raiders are not that great of a team. Their defense is supposed to be a little bit better, but if you look at how that game went, the Raiders gave Chargers opportunities to take that game, and the Chargers finally fell into it. Yes, they had a very strong running game in that game, but let's be quite honest. If we dig our feet in the ground, strap them chin straps, and knock a man in the dirt, we can slow down some of that. Make Herbert throw the ball. They lost a lot of them weapons last year. Their continuity is as much theirs as ours is. New coach, even though he's experienced, but a whole lot of turnaround in personnel, first off. I feel like we're going to get the opportunity to run the ball at a higher and better clip. Chuba Hubbard will be running strong, running hard, Miles Sanders, and anybody else. I think it's going to be great. With Bryce, there's a lot of work being put on him right now. Can't convince me that it ain't. You don't have to believe in him. I don't care if you believe in him, but this is the option that we got right now, and I believe that he's going to come back better than he did last week. Call me crazy, call me stupid, I don't care. But at the end of the day, there's no logical reason. And I said when the schedule came out, and I'm saying it now, there is no reason why we can't beat the Chargers. And yes, you're probably tired of hearing, oh, well, it's week one. It was just week one. Well, it was just week one. Panthers had traditionally, in a lot of areas, have always started slow. If you really go back to it, we've won divisions coming off the back end of the season quite a few times. Bryce might didn't have the game then. Lou says he doesn't have it this week. If you want to give up faith, then hope you can. But as far as I remember, there's 52 other men on that team, 52 men that can stand up. As far as I imagine it, I see it like that final scene in Glory on the beach where they knew or felt, and everybody felt they didn't have a chance in the world. And they came out and they fought and they left it on the line. And they've been immortalized in history. And that's the kind of approach that they got to take. They've got to sit there with their back against the wall and decide to fight back in family. I believe they will. So, like I said, it might be rough now. But if you don't want to be with us now, don't come to the parade.
Way to bring it, D. Way to bring a positive attitude about potential of this game not being over before it started at the end of the show. A couple of things, though. I mean, these aren't necessarily good things to follow up there. Is the Chargers only allowed one red zone play last week. The Raiders had one play in the red zone, and it was a strip for a fumble at that point.
Oh, wow.
By Khalil Mack. That's kind of a crazy stat. On top of that, another thing it says this is a writer. He says this: the offensive line for the Chargers is a work in progress, but rookie right tackle Joe Alt shined against Max Crosby. And on the other side of the ball, the Chargers defense put plenty of pressure on Raiders quarterback Gardner Minshew. You know, now on top of that, or I think that Jim Harbaugh is historically known for having good results early with teams.
Yeah.
Oh, 11-11, by the way, guys. My number. So you look at that, and right now, I think this is, man, if you're the Chargers, you got to be really happy about playing the Panthers right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, it's trying to get off to a start in a division with the new coach and and getting Herbert. Herbert they passed the ball 25 times and ran the ball 26 times. So it's not like we need Justin Herbert to do everything right out the gate. And their defense has dealt with injuries a lot over the last couple of years. Right? So it's like they've never had all the pieces together. And not that there are some dominant team right now, but Justin Herbert is good. There's some talent. There's some talent on that defense. And if they can get that running game going, they can give guys like Quentin Johnson and Ladd McConkey time to improve as players.
Right.
And this is a good matchup for them. Heading all the way across the country. Favorable matchup for them. Tough draw for every game is going to be a tough draw for the Panthers until we look a little bit better, or at anything better. And I don't know. And I guess I'll finish on this point because this is about all I've got to. I think I don't know what else we really could just beat the drum on all this stuff. I don't know if we were just that bad on Sunday or if it was we got the brakes beat off of us right in the beginning. Like you came out as the first round and they got you not wobbly. They knocked you down in the first round. You got 2 knockdowns. I think it was almost like it just went so bad, so fast, there was no way of coming out of it. It would be difficult for a team that has zero with a brand new head coach, with a quarterback who has very little experience, with a team that's never played together. Like maybe if you're like Tom Brady or something and you get knocked in the mouth in the first quarter. I mean, even Aaron Rodgers and them couldn't come out of it last night.
Yeah.
I don't think. Look, I'm not ready to say Bryce is bust yet. I'm not ready. Not ready. No need to say it. We got 16 more games to find out.
Right.
We do need to make our picks, right?
Oh, yeah.
I wrote them down from last week. Oh God, did I
think it was just me and Greg. Obviously, nobody had the score right, but
I had the Saints winning.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do the.
No,
I thought you did the Panthers because you thought everybody else was gonna choose the Saints.
I had it was Tony Saints 21-17. Greg, can you write these down because you're good at keeping them? I'll keep them too. This is week 1.
Yeah, I got you.
Week 1, we didn't get your picks.
Yeah,
by the way,
I was gone last week.
Okay. Saints 21-17. Tony, they didn't. I had the Saints Steelers. Oh, by the way, thanks CK for that Steelers tip because I made it in all my pick'ems and it was a winner.
You're
so
welcome.
I went Saints, Steelers, and Commanders. So I went 2 and 1. Who was our other one? Oh yeah, that's it. I went 2 and 1. Well, CK went 3 and 0. No, the Buck. Yep. And Cody went 1 and 2.
1 and 2. I'm just gonna say
He thought the Falcons was going to beat the Steelers, right?
Yeah, no, he had Panthers, Steelers, and Commanders.
Well, since I wasn't here, I'm just gonna go with my picks from the Pick'em League that I'm in. So I'm pretty sure I got. See, how we only did 3 games.
We just did the NFC
South
because we played 2. The Saints and the Panthers played each other, so there's only 2 games.
Okay. Don't know why I couldn't figure that out. Let's see. My Pick'em. I'm pretty sure I got all 3 of them. Let's see. I picked the Falcons. I missed that game. But I got the other 2. I picked the Saints and I picked the Bucks. So I'm 2 and 1.
All right. I'm starting us off. I'm picking the Chargers to win this game, and I think it's going to be 24 to 16. 24-16 Chargers. CK, who you got?
I refuse to think that this team has another performance like it did.
Pick them to win.
I'm not incredibly confident in this, but I'm going to say the Panthers bounce back. I'm not saying it's going to be convincing. I believe that this might be a low scoring affair. So I'm going to say 13-10 Panthers.
13-10 Panthers. Greg, what you got?
I'm gonna go Chargers. This is actually when the NFL picks. This is one of the two games the NFL analysts had them winning was the Chargers game. But I'm gonna take the Chargers in this game, and I'm kind of with CK on this. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. I'm gonna go a little higher. I'm gonna say 17-10. How about that?
17-10. I was reading your mind there. 17-10. Okay, next up. Who is around town? Let's see. Tampa Bay's heading to Detroit. Man, isn't that a rematch from last year? Didn't they go there last year in the playoffs and lose?
No, the Tampa
after round one, they beat the Eagles, and then I think they had to go to Detroit.
Right.
I'm picking. I picked against the Lions last week because I thought that the Rams are a team that could sleep. That people, man, Cooper Kupp went off. They were winning that game all the way to the end. I'm picking the Lions to win over the Bucks here. We don't have to pick a score for these games.
Okay.
CK, Lions or Bucks. Bucks are on the road.
Man, the Lions looked good. I got to go Lions here.
All right, Greg.
Yeah, 3 for 3. I'm going Lions too.
All right, and next we have who is Atlanta play? Atlanta, where are you?
I'm looking for it.
Oh, they go to Philly.
Oh, I think Atlanta wins that.
Really?
Yeah.
Not me.
I didn't see a very convincing Philadelphia win against the Packers.
Saquon have 3 touchdowns. Maybe it was 2. He could have had 1 million, it felt like.
Yeah, but Jalen Hurts was questionable.
You think the Falcons and is he hurt? Is Hurts hurt? Or are you saying he played?
No, he played like he looks like he's slower than he has.
They can't do that tush push anymore. It does not work now.
Man.
And who you got, Greg?
I got Philly too. You know that tush push that at the end of the game that he fumbled on? If he'd have scored a touchdown, I'd have won $90. And I was like, I'm about to win 90, and then he fumbled it.
And who are we missing? We're missing the Saints. Who are the Saints playing? They go to Dallas. Oh, I will take Dallas here. CK?
Dallas.
Yeah.
Greg?
I'm going Dallas. That defense is pretty nasty.
Just quick look around the league. Want to just do some, let's see. Just surprising, just kind of a peek around the league. Can anybody? I didn't see. I need to go read about the Tyreek mess. I didn't follow any of that, and if it was warranted or whatever. And I had a Jags fan telling me I wish they would have thrown him in jail because there's no magistrate on Sunday, and he wouldn't have been able to play. You know anything about it? Anybody know anything about it?
I mean, I didn't watch the video, but people are saying that it was power hungry, officers.
Okay.
It's hard to say.
See, the Cardinals went on the road against the Bills and gave them a run for their money, lost towards the end. The Bears, how about this? Drake May with a game. Let's see if I can pull up his full stats here or his stats. Not Drake May. Drake May's he was 14 for 20. He had 93 yards passing and 0 touchdowns, but he becomes the first rookie quarterback selected number 1 overall to win his rookie debut since David Carr, 2002, with the Houston Texans. How the hell did they win this game?
No offensive touchdowns.
Oh, didn't they have like a couple of
They had a pick six and a fumble recovered for a touchdown. I know that, but beyond that, I don't know how they scored the other ones.
Who was it?
Punt blocked
The Bears
for a touchdown. The Bears.
Dude, the
They got a
Bears.
field goal, touchdown. Will Levis pass, short left, intercepted, 43 yards. So they had a pick six,
A return touchdown from
and then 2 field
kickoff.
goals.
And that their defense kept that game in play. If they win, it's not, at least from what we saw, it's not because of an offensive explosion.
All right.
How about you know what I feel like we should just treat ourselves and we should go watch that Colts Texans game. I didn't get to watch it. I heard that Anthony Richardson looked incredible, like Cam. Somebody said, "Hey, looks just like Cam, baby Cam."
He's got the zip on his arm. His arm, like when he throws the ball, he does the same thing Cam does, which is he puts it'd be the hardest ball to catch in the NFL.
Missile.
Yeah.
Just a missile. Like
it could be a 10-yard pass, and that dude's throwing it to like he's throwing through you to his grandmother in Arkansas.
Yeah.
I remember somebody said Cam Newton could throw a football through a piece of plywood. Justin Fields starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Denver. Robert Saleh headline says this: it does feel better to be 0-1 this year than 1-0 last year.
Yes,
Referencing the idea that they lost a game, but Aaron Rodgers, they didn't lose a season.
Makes sense.
Daniel Jones. Oh, how about the Giants' struggles? They got just shellacked.
Mm-hmm.
If the Panthers wouldn't have gotten shellacked, they would have been the toast of the town for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Or not the toast of the town. And let's see. Wonder
Dallas
if
beat the shit out of Cleveland.
Yes. And Deshaun Watson karma has destroyed him. Christian McCaffrey was inactive last night. News there.
That could land the 49ers in some mess too.
Yeah.
Because they said he was questionable. They were almost leading people into the belief that he was going to be playing. And then he became an inactive. And the guy who saw that was the backup for him, I can't remember his name, admitted that he knew he was going to be starting on Friday.
Oh wow!
Oh, for like the gambling stuff and yeah.
Well, he knew that he was going to be starting on Friday. The gambling, but it's also like a part of the injury reporting.
Yeah. I mean, we couldn't do our fantasy right.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson not practice the opening portion of Monday's practice. Derrick Brown, we talked about that. Rome Odunze suffered MCL sprain in week 1 for the Bears. Njoku week to week for the Browns. Let's see. Are there any major? Malik Willis will start. Oh, by the way, Jordan Love MCL sprain. He's going to miss some time. That sucks.
Yeah, they said he might play this week.
That he might?
Yeah, they said he might play this week.
That's crazy.
They were saying 4 to 6 weeks.
I mean, that's what the thoughts were, but they haven't put him on PUP. So they're saying we're going to see who it is because right now it's Malik Willis will be the starting quarterback for the Packers. If he does, but the coach is saying if Jordan can't go.
Puka Nacua headed to injured reserve will miss a minimum of 4 weeks. Let's see. Are there any major other names that I see here?
I think Jordan Addison went out of the game with an ankle injury too.
Yeah. Let's see. Bryce Hall suffered Bryce Hall, cornerback. Oh, okay. Suffered dislocated ankle and fractured fibula on Sunday over the Commanders for Tampa Bay. That's about it there. Okay, those are your latest news and notes. A couple of, let's see, one other thing I want to put. We don't do this enough. If you guys are interested in supporting C3, what you can do, one thing you can do, let me see, wherever this is. Oh, it's not that. You can go to CarolinaCatChronicles.com, right? And you can go to the website, which I have to put up a post from These Ill Skills. You go to the gear, you go to the tabs across, you hit shop, and then you hit gear. You can support us by buying this cool C3 Panthers podcast mug. Really beautiful. This is like one of my favorite. Like, this is one of the favorite products we ever had. Straight, right? I suggest getting the bigger one because who wants a little baby cup of coffee? And I thought we had, do I have it in here? Where is, just don't forget you can get the Shut the Hell Up. Oh, and how about this? I don't even know if anybody's ever bought one, but after today, let's see, I'll show you guys. There's my website at. Where is the website at? This might be the time after the G Baby call. And that terrible, terrible game that we had. Might be time for you to get a "You Make Me Fucking Sick" t-shirt. I like this one. You make me fucking sick. Or you can always get the "Shut the Hell Up" t-shirt for Panther Pickle. All right, you go to CarolinaCatChronicles.com. You hit the shop tab right here, hit the gear, and it will take you to these beautiful products right there. I think you have to use PayPal though now because I've gotten some issues. Joe's name is on the whatever process, and man, they're just hard to work with. Some of these companies, when somebody, it's like they're like, write a letter and put it on. I was like, we don't got no cover. I was like, wait a minute, like they want me to put it on letterhead. I was like, I'm just gonna make it up on my computer. It's not real letterhead. It's just a podcast, dude, not company. And Joey's dead. Sorry, it really is. Like, he can't write you a letter. Anyway, you're listening to the Longest Running Panthers podcast. We're here every Tuesday night. We'll be doing, I'm hoping maybe we'll do a film breakdown this week. Maybe we can get Cody out of the back behind the sticks for that. When's the Madden simulation coming out, TK?
I might do that Wednesday.
Okay. Friday, free for all. And then on Sunday, you know what? I'm gonna have to reach out to. I'm gonna get Colby over here because you're gonna be out on the road. Cody's going to the game, so we might need. I'm bringing Colby into the studio and we'll do it together. It's always fun, guys. We need to ice some fools up though. We need to ice somebody up. So you guys could go if you got ice up pick, get after it. And that is all.
I don't got anything.
No ice ups.
No.
Yeah, I'm outside of what we've seen in the Panthers organization, I haven't got anything to add of real value. So I'm going to leave my my words to myself at this point in time.
My ace up pick goes to the Carolina Panthers as they started 2024 season off with a pretty disheartening, one of the most disheartening moments. I checked out, dude. I mean, I watched the game. Let me just tell you, this is why the Panthers getting iced up. Is like, I was beyond bad. Like, there wasn't even a moment where I was mad. Boom, 59-yard touchdown. Boom, interception. I went from just whatever, game over. I was not going to sit at this restaurant and watch this anymore. So I said, I'm going to go watch the second half somewhere else. I left with 1.5 minutes, I felt like. 2 minutes left in the second quarter. I got there before the shit was over. Before that, it was like 2 minute drive. 10 points. I thought they scored 10 points. Went from 20 to 30. I don't really remember anything in the second half because I feel like I just got blitzed and got up here. So my ice up pick goes to the Carolina Panthers for putting a cruddy week one performance out there. You guys ice up. You go to the locker room. You ice up. Take that aspirin. Look at little Bryce Young sitting crisscross applesauce, eating his chicken nuggets in his out of his Olaf lunchbox. And you say, do you want to build a rainbow? Yes, we do. Build a rainbow next week. A rainbow to happiness for Tony Dunn. Carolina Panthers need to ice up. That's it. We miss Cody. I need you back. I had such a busy day, a great productive day. It's crazy that so many people on the internet didn't have fun today. I got a killer workout in. Went for a walk. I mean, I was being super dad all over the place, cooked dinner, and taught class. It's great. All right. My name's Tony Dunn, C3 Panthers Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. We'll check you out on Tuesdays. Greg, thanks for hanging out with us.
Amen.
DK, always fun. A pleasure.
Absolutely.
D from Sanford. I feel like this is my one person I want to just talk to right now. I love you, bro. You're a very important person to me, man. At least on Tuesday nights you are. I never pray. I never tell somebody I'm going to pray for them, and I don't do it. So as soon as I get done with this podcast, I'm going to pray for your son, literally. And that's it, guys. You ready to get out of here?
Let's do it.
All right. Have fun this week. I'll be in touch, CK. I think there is an exit thing here. I don't know. Let's see. Where the heck? Where are you, Cody? Where are you?